All right. We're going to let the people join in. Join in, people. Let the people join in. Oh, I meant to put some spray. Good morning. Good morning. I love how she's trying to have a whole conversation with me. Trying to get ready to go live. Go live. You know what? Shout out to Destiny Selena, founder and CEO of Balanced Perfection. Because this right here, this ish right here, it even looks good in the bottle. Man, such a great product. Didn't wake up anticipating doing a commercial for Balanced Perfection, but it feels like the right thing to do because it is the right thing to do. I love this spray. So watch, here's my before. Y'all can't smell it, but I can. It smells good. Woo! All right, here we go, here we go, here we go. Welcome to the morning message. Welcome, kids. We're back again. Wait, feel like my clothes are too tight. Get yourself together, Allah-mi. What else is new? Welcome y'all to the morning message. Spray is so good. We back out here in the jungle, y'all. I'm so happy to be here. Feels so good to be back in the Ricas. Welcome to the morning message. My name's Allah-mi. Hi. Yeah. Back out here in being jungle-y. Like, I'm back out here with the bugs and the humidity and the howler monkeys and the gravel road, and I could not be happier, okay? Welcome to the morning message, y'all. My name is Allah-mi Basheer. I am an intuitive life coach. Every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, I do a live intuitive channeled message. I don't know what's going to come out of my face until I start talking. We got a title of sorts, but we don't know how it's going to unfold. I welcome you to stick around if it resonates. If you stumbled upon this space, you've never been here before, hey, welcome to the morning message. Oh. And if you want to learn more about me, what I do, and how I be doing it, go to begreateveryday.com. What's up, Rye? Top of the morning to you too, sir. Your water bottle should not stink. That's not good. Let's try this one. I think it might be time to wash that one out. Good morning. You know that rancid smell that's like it's been closed too long and it needs to be washed? I just washed it like maybe it's been a couple days. Anyhow, let's get into it. Yeah, go to begreateveryday.com if you want to learn more. All right, anyway. How was y'all's weekend? Hey, Earth Soul. Hello, Yareli. Yeah, how was your weekend? Let's start there. Ryan says top of the morning. It is top of the morning, right? It's Monday morning. Whatever that means to you and your lifestyle. For most, it's the start of a work week. And we are fresh off the weekend. So how was your weekend? Give me a couple words to represent your weekend. Relaxing, exhilarating, busy, still, active, Um, what happened for you this weekend? Busy. Busy on the road, working and getting back to the start of the work. Yeah, so yeah. And for those of you who aren't responding, just kind of ask yourself, like, yeah, what did I do this weekend and how was it? How did I enjoy my weekend? And like part of me wants to kind of unpack this faster. Um, in my brain, because I'm self-employed, I determine what my everyday looks like, generally speaking. And so the weekend all just kind of blurs together for me. Every day is kind of much the same in many ways. But for many of you, the weekend signifies a time for rest and recreation and responsibility, taking care of things that you can't ordinarily take care of during the traditional work week. And yeah, the weekends mean something to you. So the call to action, at least for now, is for you to sit and really reflect on how you spent your weekend and how well did you enjoy it. Okay. So like for me, there's a part of me that wants to buck up against that. Like the weekend should not just be the only fucking special day that you get to enjoy your life, but that's how it's kind of set up right now for many of you, is you wait through the week to get to the weekend to enjoy your life. So the question today, or at least right now, is for you to ask yourself, well, how well did you enjoy your weekend? Okay. So this message is kind of building itself poetically, and I'm with it, but it's interesting. So how well did you enjoy your weekend is the question. Feel free to share it. What's up, Phil? Phil, so Phil's talking about twirling in the rain, so maybe her weekend was great, okay? I did a little bit of that myself. It was a beautiful rainy weekend. It was kind of a little bit of rain and not, and so that ebb and flow was nice. Let's see, how well did I really enjoyed my weekend actually. Vic came back to Costa Rica and we went to dinner and we've been enjoying each other's company and that's been good. And yeah. It's just been really peaceful. I've been enjoying, a sense of quiet and peace. So what's your response? Okay. And it's a lot of energy around like holding ourselves accountable to having a response to this question. Okay. It's like for a moment, really taking a moment to even grade yourself on how well you did enjoy the weekend. So if 10 is like, whoa, off the charts joy, and 0-1 is like, shit was real foul. Like, where did your weekend fall? Okay. So starting there as a starting point to this conversation, all right. It's going real fast into, okay, well, why was it whatever you graded it? Okay. So if you said, on a scale from 1 to 10, I had a 7 of a weekend, why was it a 7? Okay. Why was it only a 7 if you said it was a 7? Why was it an 8 if you said it was an 8? Okay. And maybe another way to look at it is if you said it was an 8, why wasn't it a 9 or a 10? Okay, like what was lacking? Okay, so a lot of energy around taking inventory in this way. Okay, and you can do this all the time with most any aspect of your life. Just kind of put it on a scale from 1 to satisfaction. Where do I stand with this area of my life or this situation? Okay, how happy or satisfied am I with the situation? Okay, so if this weekend was a level 7 of joy and fulfillment, what does 8 look like? What would be the difference maker? I'm not saying what would 10 look like. I'm like, what would have made it a little bit better? What would 8 have looked like? What would be different? Okay. And ordinarily an exercise like what I feel like I'm guiding you through, this is an exercise I would ordinarily do in a coaching relationship, okay? Because it's a very particular kind of walk you through the park exercise, but see if you can follow along virtually. It's coming through this channeled message, so clearly you can do it, but it's like grading your life, evaluating your life on a scale from 1 to 10, identifying where you stand and the level of satisfaction you feel. And we're talking about this weekend in particular, okay? Like hone in on this past weekend. You're like, well, what makes this weekend so special or particular? Okay, that'll reveal itself, okay? It's like, look at this weekend, this recent memory experience, and what could have made it better, okay? Even just a little bit. Okay, so if you're like, well, my weekend was pretty great, you know, it's really like more like an 8, maybe a 9. Okay, well, where's the difference maker to 10? Okay. There's a lot of energy around us really starting to take more inventory about where we are and what we're wanting, okay? Whew, versus where we are and what we don't have, okay? There's a difference. It's the same conversation, what we're wanting versus what we don't have. Okay? It's the same conversation. It's like focusing on lack versus focusing on increase in abundance. Okay? So, when you rank your weekend, wherever it lies, answer for yourself, what could have been the difference maker, okay? What could have made it a little bit better, okay? That's the next step, okay? Now this is where you gotta follow along closely, because I'm not here to hold your hand with it. Aside from this general conversation, we're not in an actual coaching container, okay? But see if you can follow along with this. And this card fell on the floor, so I'm gonna have to pick it up. So it's like when you identify what could have made it better for you this weekend, when you start zooming in on what's the small shift that could have mattered and made it a different experience that was even better for you, okay? What is the shift that you've identified? Okay. What's the thing that could have been different? Okay. And is that shift something that you have the power, autonomy, and control over, or no? So maybe another way to look at it is the shift something that you could do, or something that you wish somebody else had done? Okay. So see if you can keep up with this. I'm challenging you to look at your experience this last weekend, and instead of blaming your health or your vitality or your feel-good experience on somebody else's behavior, instead of putting it in the power of somebody else to be different, do different, said something different, shown up different, instead of the difference maker being in somebody else's experience and body, I'm asking for you to embody the change that you wanted to see. So what could have made your weekend better this past weekend that you have the power, control, and autonomy over? Y'all still with me? Are we crickets yet? It's a lot of self-accountability in this. That's why I say it's hard to do. I'm asking you to do it within and of yourself. There's a lot of steps to unfolding this and unpacking this. Because many of you will look back on your weekend and what wasn't quite right and blame it on someone or something else that's outside of you. You'll say, because, if somebody didn't get on my nerves, and it could have been more fun, or so-and-so didn't do this, and it could have been that for me. If I had only some more money, then I could have done X, Y, or Z. This is still outside of yourself. Okay. If the weather had been nicer, then it could have been blah, 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 blah. Okay? That's all outside of yourself too. I'm asking you to take this awareness as far as you can drag it and go back to yourself to say, what could I have done for me inside of me to make my experience feel more abundant, or feel more exciting, or feel more free, or feel more fun, or whatever it is that could have, quote, made it better for you this weekend. I know this is a lot of steps. It's a lot of steps, okay? Some of you may find this to be a little bit easier than others because I'm asking you to be introspective. And I'm not only asking you to be introspective, I'm asking for you to take accountability in places where you naturally, because of the way your ego is set up, you will make it somebody else's fault or business to fill up your happy cup in that place. And we do this most in our romantic relationships and our family relationships, because we got high expectations for how people should show up. And when people don't show up like that, we give that permission to disrupt our mood. Okay. Even looking at things that are very external to us, like the weather. How much not in control can you be when we start talking about the weather? Maybe you had something planned, something special to do, something you really wanted to do, and then the weather compromised your ability to do it. And you let that dampen your day, literally. It doesn't have to dampen your day. There's a thing called the pivot. When we start redirecting our attention and our feelings and our negative emotions about a thing, and we start trying to find a higher vibrational expression for them, where we start looking on the bright side or finding something to be grateful for, considering the circumstances that we didn't prefer. Okay. What I'm describing to you are really the elements of self-mastery. So many of us look for peace of mind outside of ourselves. We look for it to show up in our environment. We look for it to show up in people and circumstances. We look for our peace of mind in our environment and in the lives and behaviors of other people. Isn't that wild? We say things like, they made me mad. Or they make me sick. That's something we used to say as kids. They make me sick. And that's a way of expressing, your emotional or your disdain. No, it's like peace of mind is always ours for the choosing. Doesn't matter what happened in your weekend. And I'm not suggesting that everybody's supposed to be at level 10 all the time. I'm just suggesting that the potential is always there. We are humans having our human experience, so our little ego mind gets caught up in the 3D realities of things that feel uncomfortable or that feel not to our preference. But the potential for joy is always there, no matter what's happening in our outer world. But you see how we have to slow walk ourselves to get to that? Because we are very much having human experiences and human interactions and challenges and you know, the illusion looks real. It's really real. Whew. So it's easy to forget that we are fully in control of it by being in control of ourselves and how we respond to things and determining how we choose to look at something, which perspective we want to sit in. Half full, half empty. We get to choose. And that's what really is at the heart of self-mastery, is that conscious and intentional choice to feel good, to feel better, to choose to feel better. To choose to find relief, regardless of circumstances and conditions. It is a choice. All right, hold on. I dropped this card earlier. All right. Dropped this card earlier. Like the video if y'all with me in here. Okay. You may be reflecting on your weekend, still irritated because of how somebody behaved. And I'm not here to tell you you shouldn't be. But the card says, I don't empower my fears, I overcome them. Okay. I don't empower my fears, I overcome them. Okay, so this is giving me a clue about some of y'all's weekend. Yeah. When I asked the question of how well did you enjoy it? Okay. I'm getting the energy and the feel of a lot of what we would normally call like growing pains. Okay. You know, as we know, children can be very rambunctious, and, you know, when they're born, they come out all brand new and flawless and perfect and porcelain, and then they get older and they become rough and tumble, and they start getting bumps and bruises and scars and scrapes and shit that lasts for a lifetime even. Okay. Oh my goodness. Hold on. They're giving me a lot of layers at once. So hang on one second. It's like, you know, as children grow and learn and become, those bumps and bruises are necessary to learning, growth, fun, excitement, right? We expand our spirit in so many ways as children just by having experiences and learning from them. And sometimes we have evidence that lingers a lifetime to show how much we learned. Okay. There's a lot of layers to this. So it's so there's a lot of layers to this message. So there's that, okay? The need to hold on, I gotta get more language to be able to explain. Can you wash this out for me? I have an eyelash in my eye. All right, hold on, guys. I got a little distracted. And there's a lot of pieces to this conversation. So, so I just have to talk it out. So there's something about like kids, how, you know, I don't know, even if you've never been a parent, you know, if you're watching a child learn to walk, okay? And in the beginning, they don't have it real steadily, right? Because they're learning how to do it. And as they do it more, they become more proficient, and all of a sudden you have a more fluid walker, okay? The process of becoming, okay? The process of mastery, okay? That process of mastery for them, it has an experimental component to it, okay? See if y'all can follow, because I'm out. Just have to just say it. Walking has an experimental component to it. And we want them to experiment with it. We want children to learn to master their walk. So we say you have to try it, do it, fail at it, get back up, try it again, do a little bit better, get a little further. Over time, you refine your process, you walk, okay? And so they're describing this process of mastery of anything in the same way. It's like it's not meant to be perfect. You learn as you go. It's a lot of energy around us really giving ourselves grace as we learn how to master our reality, okay? You're not going to just wake up tomorrow and not be bothered by the things that people do if you've historically been bothered by the things that people do. It's like recognizing that your ability to conquer in real time, mastery of your emotions and mastery of your perception, mastery of you when you are in physical environments that are, as we might say, testing your gangster or trying to trigger you, okay? It's hard to maintain your peace of mind when you are constantly giving other people permission to trigger you, okay? So the message, again, has a lot of layers, and it's speaking to ultimately the game that you are playing in this lifetime is you versus you, okay? It's not you versus your environment. It's like nothing has to change in your environment in order for you to find peace of mind, okay? It's like know that, be that, become that, put it on a t-shirt, okay? That's the life we're living. It's not about people, places, and things needing to be different in order for us to be able to be satisfied and in our joy. It is for us to master the moment, okay? It is for us to know that that process of learning self-mastery and self-governance in this way, it is a process of refinement over time. It's leaning in over time. It's building the resilience, building the muscle, building the awareness and the resolve over time, okay? It's a lot of energy around this. It's like not expecting yourself to just pop out the box and be brand new and unfuckwittable, okay? It's like true self-mastery grows over time, over practice, okay? It's like you got to choose to not let the things bother you. You got to choose to shift your attention to a different thought. You've got to make choices that create boundaries and permission for yourself. How do I say? To just try it, okay? So they're showing me like some of us just want to be pissed off people, okay? Some of us just want to have an attitude. Some of us just want to have a pity party. Some of us just want to be the victim in our own story. And that's just the reality. Some of us are just going to make the low vibrational decisions, okay? Some of us don't want to take the high road or be the bigger person, okay? Some of us just want to be mad that somebody fucking stepped on my shoes and I'm pissed about it, or they hurt my feelings on purpose and I'm mad about it. Like we want to sometimes go there. Even I do too. Sometimes I just want to spiral out in my human experience of my feelings and fuck all this higher order spiritual shit, because right now they done pissed me off. That's how I want to be sometimes. And I'm just telling the truth about that. That's how I want to be sometimes. And then my higher self kicks in like, no, because that's not sustainable. That's not even vital. It's not even worthwhile. You only gonna feel good for a second and you're gonna still be feeling it away. It's like, it's not even a sustainable thing. But I'll be wanting to just be there. I just be wanting to feel my feelings and just let that be what it is, as opposed to trying to find a spiritual meaning in some shit that allows me to, like, you know, self-regulate. I don't want to find that all the time. I know, even that's struggling. Everything's struggling. Whew. Okay. Let's get back to the card. Hi, Crystal. I don't empower my fears. I overcome them. This is the card that sent me spiraling. Thank you, love. I don't empower my fears. I overcome them. So when I said I know what some of y'all was doing this weekend, that's what I was talking about. Is because this energy is here, is overcoming adversity. Okay. It feels like an energy of overthinking and overworrying. Okay. It's like not knowing where something, how something's, I'm hearing how something's going to fit or how something's going to work out. It's like not, it's worrying. Some of y'all spent y'all weekend worrying about how the void or how the need was going to get met. Okay. And what does worry do? It just creates more of itself. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Okay. You worry about one thing, then it just opens up a spiral of other worries. Okay. Other directions and other things to worry about. Okay. So this card says, I don't empower my fears, I overcome them. So it's even if you spend a lot of your time really like in some low vibrational feelings of lack, and I'll say wonder as opposed to worry, because some of us will just say, well, I was just wondering real hard. I was wondering real hard how this shit's gonna work out. I resonate with that. I was just wondering. I wasn't like worried. Just wondering. It's all the same shit. Yeah, I feel like I want to say, don't worry. Okay, and that's easy for me to say because that's me on the outside of your real life challenges and problems. Okay. But that's the choice you get to make too, is not to worry. It's a choice. It's okay to wonder, but you don't want to worry. You don't want to choose to worry. Okay. Wonder is a natural part of our human experience. It's a natural extension of our curiosity, right? There's that word again. A natural extension of our curiosity, like, we're just curious to know how the fuck is this gonna work out? Yeah. So I'm hearing it's fine when you choose to wonder in stillness, okay? As opposed to worry in action. Okay, to wonder in stillness as opposed to worrying in action. Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to this back again so I can hear this. Wonder in stillness versus worrying in action. It's given the vibes of like, going into survival mode or panic mode, trying to make some shit happen because you're afraid, okay? Again, this is what we do, is we jump into action trying to make some shit happen in our outer world, trying to resolve an inner world experience because it's fear, okay? It's fear. It's not even always threat. It's just fear. It's just the thought of threat. Okay. All right. So let me get in this card. This card has a lot going on. That's why I'm just kind of like, it conflates the message like tenfold. There's like going down a hallway and there's like 17 different doors I could go down to this conversation. So it's like, can you just give me like one central theme? Let me stay there. I don't empower my fears, I overcome them. I overcome them. Okay? I overcome them. I overcome them. You know, in self-mastery, you have to be like a little bit delusional. And I say that honestly and proudly because you do. You have to be able to disconnect just a little bit from your reality. Okay? Because your 3D reality and the way our ego mind is set up, it will have you fighting for some shit. Okay? it will have you believing in some shit real hard. Okay, because our 3D, you know, if I could see, hear, smell, taste, and touch it, then that shit is, quote, real, right? And then meanwhile, we have these whole belief systems, belief, non-tangible, belief, invisible, belief. It's just a set of thoughts we keep thinking, beliefs. Okay, and we will say that that has just as much weight, and dare we say has more weight, this invisible energy has more weight than the shit we're looking at. Okay, you see the thing about delusion? We don't talk about that. People talk about spiritual psychosis, which is when the extreme version of that, when people start, you know, acting real far out the box. But, you know, way before, you know, something clinical is diagnosed, it's just this thing we call faith that is in its essence is delusion. It is delusion in its essence, okay? But let's just bring it back to our real life, lived experience, everyday, practical environment, okay? When we're talking about self-mastery and this kind of art of transcending what is in front of your face as presenting itself as truth and reality, you know, whether it's a confrontational conversation, emotions are high and, you know, people are, you know, really trying to come at you. And you're supposed to, in that moment, transcend all this energy that's coming and make it not about this people and not about this person, this circumstance, and go inside of yourself to conquer this energy. Like, that's what I'm telling you to do? Yeah, it is. See how delusional that is? You're like, how can I not fight fire with this fire and get what I'm trying to get? Like, how can I do this peaceably and get what I want? This is taking me to some Martin Luther King shit. Like, you know. Oh my God. It's like, for real. So many of us think that we got to match energy in order to be effective and to be heard and to get what we want and get what we need. And like, no. Like, what if you just drew your energy back, actually, when people are coming at you like that, and went inside yourself to anchor and find peace and find a grounded sense of self that is like, that they can't touch or trigger. They can't touch it. Like, that is when you get into, you know, yourself. That's how you really get in your mastery bag and you become unfuckwittable, is because you start locking inside. It's not even about them or this or that or none of that no more. But I'm telling you, for some of you, you almost have to allow yourself to lean into what your mental mind would probably call some form of delusion, to think that I'm not supposed to respond to this. Like, this energy is coming at me right now. I'm not supposed to respond to this. I'm supposed to be quiet. Hell no, because if I'm quiet, they gonna think da 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 da. Whew. Why am I talking about this? Because they're talking about self-mastery today. This notion of outer peace. Okay, if you want outer peace, you want peace in your environment, you want peace in your home, you want peace in your job. All that shit starts with peace on the inside. You gotta have peace on the inside. You gotta learn how to cultivate peace on the inside when there ain't nothing but problems and chaos and bullshit on the outside. That's what it looks like to become unfuckwittable. That's what I describe it as. As you're able to sit in a place of quiet and stillness inside yourself, no matter what is going on around you, you have the personal power to do that. Like, you have the power, the free will to choose to do that or to come out with it. This is what we call self-regulation. It's like when you get mad, instead of just raging out on people, you find a place to be quiet and still and stall out so that you don't pop out and do some shit. Like, it's the same energy. It's the same frequency. It's mastery of that. It's developing habits and patterns that allow you to default to that. Like routines, like when you start practicing mindful awareness and meditating regularly and journaling and releasing feelings, when you have certain routines in your own repertoire of self-care, when you start bumping up against certain people with those kind of energies, they can't get to you so easily. They can't get to you, literally, so easily. So yeah, I love it. They still won't let me get past this card. I gotta show y'all again. I don't empower my fears, I overcome them. So overcoming the fears. Okay. Overcoming the fears. Whew. I could stand to do this work myself, but they're showing me, it's like they're reflecting on just how much of our behavior is driven by fear, how much of our experience is driven by fear, how much of our reactions to things are driven by fear. It's like fear is the driver of most of the chaos in our 3D experience, okay? Whew. So it's like reflecting back on your weekend this weekend, okay, and whatever you were worried or fearful about, okay, that was making the difference in your experience and how well you enjoyed your weekend, okay. It's a lot of energy around overcoming whatever that fear was or is, okay. What is the fear? Okay, that kept you from really enjoying your weekend, okay? Whether it's a fear of being left out or left behind, or a fear of not having enough, or a fear of being taken advantage of or disrespected. It's like, what's the fear, okay, that was making the difference between how well you enjoyed your weekend, okay? This is giving like a higher level conversation. So I don't know if I have any young babies up in here, any young spiritualists up in here, but we in an advanced class today. I'm asking you to be introspective and self-reflective, you know, asking you to take accountability and responsibility, okay. Asking you to practice mastery and self-regulation. These are advanced skills. These are things you have to practice, okay? In order to really be able to do it fluidly, okay? And it all just starts with your choices, all right? This is a conversation around mastery, okay? Be clear. This is the recognition that it doesn't matter what goes on in life, you're never going to be able to control for all the conditions. So it's best to learn how to be adaptable, okay? To learn how to pivot, to learn how to keep your vibration high regardless of what you're experiencing or surrounded by, okay? So this energy of overcoming fears is in that same conversation of mastery, okay? It doesn't say that, stop fears from happening. It says move through it, move over it, overcome it, okay? It's a very natural part of our 3D human experience to have fear, okay? The mental mind wants to know, and when it doesn't know, it inserts fear, okay? It doubts, okay? When the mental mind doesn't know, it doubts. It's just how it works, okay? And so it's not a bad thing. It's just for you to be aware of, okay? It's like, this is, again, key to mastery. First step is to be aware of thine own self, okay? To notice what you do and how you do it, okay? What gets activated in you, okay? Whew. It's like, I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, I used to like to take shit apart sometimes to see if I could put it back together. Okay, sometimes my energy would quickly shift, and it's like, I don't give a fuck if it goes back together or not. It was just fun to take it apart. But sometimes I would like to try to put things back together. Okay. Whew. Hold on. I lost it. Okay. It just went blank. Everything just went blank. Like you pulled the power, the TV goes blank. It went blank. I'll come back. That's interesting. Yep, it just went blank. Okay. So, it's about learning how things work, learning how you work as a person. Okay. It's like most anything that has ever been created or built, especially something that comes in a box, we know that it can be made to be the thing that they say it is. We know it's made to serve a function, okay? And we will probably have the instructions, right? And that tell us how to put whatever the thing is together. And they're just showing me this analogy of how, like, we as humans are the same, in that we don't necessarily have clear word for word instructions as to how we're individually made, but when you learn your human design, it gives you that intel, is what I'm hearing, that intel. It's how you are made. What are the pieces and parts that make up you, okay? And we are all here to self-discover who we are and why we are, okay? It's like coming to know anything. You want to know all that you can know about that thing. If I wanted to know about this speaker, and if I was really interested to learn about how this speaker works, I would want to know all the parts that make up this speaker. And they're drawing me this analogy between that device or any other object that has pieces and parts that make up the whole. We too, as humans, have pieces and parts that make up the whole. And when you come to learn things like your human design, it helps you to understand the pieces and parts of you that make up the whole, so that you know how, emphasis on the word how, you know how to maintain your peace, okay? You know what parts of you need a new routine or a new process or a new pattern, okay, or a new belief. It's like you come to know more about yourself through the lens of human design, to know how you are made to thrive, to function, to find ease and harmony in your life, okay? It's a lot of energy around ease and harmony, okay? When we think about peace, we all too often think about only our external environment and the conditions for peace, and not the inner process that it takes to cultivate peace. Whew. Okay. I wish I could say that for you again. That was a mouthful. It's too much time and attention on our outer circumstances and not enough on our inner mastery. Okay. Okay. Period. Okay. So, in conclusion, I can finally move past this fear card. It's about inner mastery. Okay. And overcoming fears, it's never about controlling for your environment, it is about inner mastery. Okay. So, you may want to ask yourself some fear based questions like, what am I afraid of? Okay. If you spend a good deal of your time this weekend worrying about your circumstances or worrying about the condition of someone or something, it's like asking the questions, what am I afraid of? What is the worst case scenario? What parts of this fear can I control? Okay? Who would I be if I didn't have this fear? How would I feel if I didn't have this fear? What else could I use to put my attention on besides this fear? It's like investigating it, okay? It's a lot of energy around investigating this fear, whatever you've been anxious or worried about this weekend. It's a lot of emphasis on this past weekend. It's like they want you to draw from recent reference, okay? So you may feel like it was just a regular old weekend, but it's self-awareness, okay? You may feel like that on the surface, but it's an energy here that says to go back and look at your experience this past weekend, how you felt, what could have made it better, what could have made it better as identified by your first reference point, which might have been this shouldn't have happened or someone should have said or did or X, Y, or Z. Our first reference is oftentimes outward, okay? Whew. Our first reference to the lack of satisfaction is oftentimes outward. It's the thing out there that's making me feel this over here, okay? So in the true sense of mastery, allowing yourself to reflect on that and find where you can insert accountability for yourself, okay? And see where you could have done or said or chose or thought, okay? Or approached or whatever the verb is, but what could you have done different in and of you that could have created a different experience for you? Okay. Whew. Okay. Okay. And if you need some clues or some signs, it's like think about your relationship to fear, doubt, and worry as you reflect on that aspect of your weekend. And I'll give you a more overt clue. They're saying the mastery lies in your thinking, your doing, and your choosing. Okay, so it's what was I thinking that I could have thought different over the weekend? What was I doing? What was I choosing that I could have done or chose different this weekend? Okay. That's how you find the difference between where you say you were, how you felt about your weekend, and where you want to be. The difference maker is your thoughts, your behaviors, and your choices. All right, I want to just stop talking. What do y'all think about that? It's a lot. What do y'all think about that?
I did great this weekend.
Vic says she did great this weekend. I feel like I did great this weekend too.
I traveled and did not work very long at all.
Yeah. And from the standpoint of mastery, it's like, what did you do? What were you doing that allowed you to move in that energy?
I shifted my focus from worry to flow.
You need to put it in the chat. They can't hear you.
Okay.
It's like, what were you thinking, doing, and choosing? Okay. You had a great weekend. You had a level 10 weekend. Fantastic. Same conversation. What were you thinking, doing, and choosing? What was your relationship to fear? Okay. Mastery isn't about guessing a behavior and getting it right just because you happen to do a thing a certain way and it works out. Mastery is conscious awareness of your choosing. It's choosing to do the thing that's aligned. Mastery. Okay. So again, when I tell you this is a little bit of an advanced class, it is. It's because we're not just stopping at awareness. Awareness is the first stage of mastery, and we could spend weeks on just practicing self-awareness. Most of us are, even as those of us who claim to be self-aware, still miss a lot just because there's a thing called our unconscious self that we're just never going to be able to see, at least initially on our own, without someone helping direct our attention to it. It's unconscious. Okay. Whew. So when you start moving with conscious intention to be aware of what you're thinking and what you're doing and what you're choosing in your life, whew, when you're moving at that level of mastery, that's where alignment lives. That's what alignment looks like. Conscious awareness of what you're thinking, doing, and choosing. Okay. That's true. All right. So yesterday, some of you may know, yesterday I held an online event called Room to Breathe. And Room to Breathe is this virtual space that is designed for anyone, really. But most particularly, this particular session was designed, it was curated specifically with helpers and healers in mind. Room to Breathe is a collective care circle. Its intention is just to create a safe and sacred space for folks to just be. Particularly my helpers and healers. There aren't too many spaces where we can go and just be without having to be on, without having to be in charge of supporting someone else before ourselves. Helpers and healers don't have too many places where they can be vulnerable and feel safe. And so that was the intention behind Room to Breathe. Another intention behind this place that happened, honestly, it happened more prematurely than I thought. I thought it would be the next session that it would happen. But what happened was I had helpers and healers of all variety show up in the space. We had a therapist, we had a sound healer, we had a wellness practitioner, we had a life coach. And while the modalities that we each use to support people looks different, the responsibility and the weight of the support that we offer is the tie that binds us all. So it was very interesting and beautiful to witness helpers and healers join in on the same conversation around self-care and community care. And I'm so very proud of that work. But I bring that into the fold because, again, the need for just safe places to really just be yourself and be with yourself is a real commodity right now. It's a real thing that people are looking for is like-minded people that speak the language that they can relate to around their life and the way they want to live it. I bring this up because when we talk about self-mastery, I don't want to ignore the importance of our external environment in supporting our mental health and wellness. Okay. I'm not suggesting that your life should just be chaos without any interruption or refinement just because you are practicing self-mastery. Okay. Two things can be true also. Okay. Is my environment should not determine my mental health, but and my environment can influence my mental health. So it's a lot of energy around like paying attention to the things in your environment that may also be causing you stress. Okay. There is a need for us to vet the circumstances and conditions that we live in, that we work in, that we love in, to assess if it is contributing to our mental health and wellness or to discomfort and dis-ease. Okay. It's a lot of energy around that. I feel like there is a need for us to really take inventory on where we are feeling the most stress. Okay. Accounting for inner experience and outer. Perhaps this is an exercise that you all will embark upon today as we start off the beginning of the week. It's really taking an inventory of what is adding stress to your life right now. Okay, and it's not just what you're doing to yourself, but what are the external conditions that may be adding pressure, undue pressure, or expectation. Okay. It's a lot of energy around that too. All right. Awareness, okay? That's where that comes in. Taking inventory. Whew. First step to mastery, awareness. What am I experiencing? Where is it coming from? Who are the contributors? What can I do to support myself? Okay. These are some of the things we were talking about in Room to Breathe. It's a beautiful space. I look forward to doing it again. I think it's going to be on the third Sunday of every month. I'm really looking forward to doing that again. All right, let me do these cards. I got a couple more cards and then we're going to start winding down. You guys are all chit-chatty. What are y'all chit-chatty about? Oh, Vic's sharing her weekend. Yes. Thank you for sharing with the peoples. She says, I traveled out of the States this weekend. I usually feel a little nervous because I fly standby and never know if I'm going to make my flights or not. I've spent the night in the airport before. She really did, and it was horrible, which is not fun. So that memory tries to ruin my peace sometimes, but I won't let it. Instead of worrying about all the things that could go wrong, I shifted my focus on what will go right. And it worked. I had helped the whole way with my giant luggage, and it all went remarkably smooth. This weekend was a huge win for me because it was effortless to shift my perspective and created the ease and flow I desired. I can attest to that as a witness to her for that. Yeah, that was a big win, and I'm really happy for you about that. And that does go to show in full illustration what we're talking about when we start talking about mastery. They say, as above, so below. What you think is what you shall receive. Okay? Period. All right. Thanks for liking the video, you guys. If you haven't had a chance, now's a good time. If anybody wants to donate a love donation for a cup of coffee, the details are in the show notes at Allah-mi Basheer, my Cash App, at Allah-mi Basheer is my Cash App. All right, Universal Bank is this card. Everything you need to thrive is already here. So, I told you this weekend worry stuff, okay? This weekend worry stuff. I know Vic says she's not worried and she's not worried and she wasn't worried, but I feel this worry energy, okay? It's like, and again, you may not call it worry. You may be like me and call it wonder. I wonder, and I wonder if you know what it means, what it means. And I wonder if you know what it means to find your dreams come true. That's a Kanye West song. Okay, thanks. Okay. Yeah. Wondering if everything you need is already here. You don't have to wonder no more, okay? This Universal Bank card is like hella feeling like an exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, okay? And what I mean by that is I feel like, and I'm guilty of this too, I be needing to be reminded, like, you know, to not wonder so much, you know, don't worry about it kind of thing. It's like, God got it, it's gonna work out, it's all in order, blah, 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 all of that. Like, I know, but I be forgetting too. I do, I know. In my heart of hearts, there's no doubt, okay? But then my brain be like, you got needs, you got voids, you got problems, you got stuff, and you ain't got what you need. And then my soul be like, yeah, you do. It's just, here we are again. You know, you just have to wait. It's going to work itself out. You never know how, but then it shows up. You know, it's like, I know, but I'll be forgetting. And so I feel like this is y'all too. This is all of us, shit. That's what stress is. You know, it's like this illusion. You know, because stress in and of itself is just like pressure and worry and doubt and not knowing, uncertainty, it's fear, it's all of those things all combined, okay? And then there's the reality that everything be working out for me. Everything is working out for me. Everything is working out for me. Yeah, it's that. Everything you need to thrive is already here. So, you know, it's not even for me to tell you like, oh, it's finished, my child. Like, but for real, it is. I mean, like, sound the alarms on the parade and all the horns that's going to work it out is all here, okay? It's just a matter of, are you going to choose to focus on the fact that it's all working out, or are you going to choose to focus on the fact that you don't know how it's all working out, okay? And that's the question. It's not, is it working out? Nowhere in there is it working out a question. It's, are you going to freak out about not knowing, or are you going to celebrate the fact that you know it is going to work out? That's the choice we all get to make. You going to stress or not stress, okay? That's all stress is that we don't know. It's the we don't know part. And that part be so real, right? That part be real as fuck. Because we don't be knowing. And then all of a sudden, here we go. Like, oh, shit. And I do feel that, you know, like they have on these phones now, how if you type in certain words, confetti bump, you know, you type in happy birthday, then the confetti pops on the phone, or some, congratulations, the confetti. Like, it's given that. It's given that we're in that season. Okay, and you know, like if you've ever seen confetti, if you've seen a celebration with confetti, sometimes, you know, the confetti comes from the side. Sometimes that confetti be like, you'll see one or two that's kind of flying down. It hasn't dropped yet. You just see like one or two little things kind of flying down, and you're like, oh shit, there must be some confetti up there. It's like, it's given like that's the season that we're in right now. It's given that's the season that we're in right now. It's like you might see a couple of those little things falling down. So you don't see the full parade yet, or you don't see the full display yet. So you're still doubting whether or not it's really time to celebrate. It's like, it's here, okay? So I don't know what you all are pressed about or what you're feeling unsure, uncertain about that had you kind of hemmed up this weekend. But it's like, and for those of you who are not resonating, you may not like, I feel like I had a good weekend. It's not, I'm just channeling a message. And if you hear it that tells me it resonates for you too, it may not be something that's keeping you up at night, but it's something you're trying to resolve, okay? It's something that in passing, you're like, oh yeah, that does bother me, okay? It's like, it's something that may not feel like it's, detrimental to your everyday, but it's like something that's in the shadows waiting for resolve, okay? So this everything you need to thrive is here. It's something you're trying to figure out. You haven't quite gotten all the answers. There's a void or the mystery here is what I want to say. It's something is still a mystery, okay? Yeah, that's how I want to say it, okay? Everything you need to thrive is here, okay? I think this is going to be my last card today. Yeah. Card says, soulmate. The relationship is a match made in heaven. Okay, hold on. What y'all got going on? What y'all got going on? The relationship is a match made in heaven. Okay. 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 So I don't know how this goes with y'all, okay? But I know for myself, when I go back to what was I worried about, I told y'all I hosted an event this weekend. And I told Vic this, I told her, my co-host also this, like, every time it's time for me to do an event, the day before, the night before, I'm always like a big bunch of nerves. And it wasn't like, I've never done it. This happens every time I'm going to host something. It's just like I put a lot of pressure on myself for things just to go right, be right, and all the things. And so I spent a lot of time obsessing over the details. And so, of course, we get into the session, everything flows great. Ruth Tessima, who was the therapist on the call as well, she was great. Everything flowed. It was fine. It was great. It worked out fine. Okay. But before that, and the night before that, of course, I'm up in my head trying to figure it out and just harassing myself the way I like to do, causing all of this stress and angst about this event that flowed smoothly, perfectly, and everybody got what they needed. But yeah, I have to admit that I took myself through there a little bit before the event, which is customarily what I do. So this is part of what I need to continue to let go of, because this is one of my toxic traits. It's just like obsess, 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 perform, done. Okay, whew, relax. But I can take away the obsess, obsess, obsess part a little bit more. So that is what I'm getting from this card and this energy is the soulmate card. The relationship is a match made in heaven. We had a lot of flow. We had a lot of ease. And I think there's a harmonious partnership that's going to continue to grow and support these helpers. So that's how this card resonates for me. This everything you need to thrive is already here. Again, they just showed me like the little confetti. It's like the one little confetti thing that falls. So it's like, I really want you all to think about like, what's a small win, or what looks like a glimmer of hope is what I want to say. A small win or a glimmer of hope that you experienced this weekend. Okay. It's like, for every one of you, whatever you ranked this weekend to be, if it was a 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever you ranked it to be or less, it's like, what was the glimmer of hope that shined through as well? Okay. What's the little piece of confetti represent for you? Okay. So even if you were feeling a little bit of angst or a little bit uncertain or a little bit dis-ease, it's like, what's the little glimmer of hope? And I think it's going to be found in a relationship. Okay. So it's like something went right in a relationship. So I don't know if you had a good time, you went out and had a good time with so-and-so or such and such, or you heard from somebody you haven't heard from in a minute and that felt good. It's like there was a glimmer of hope that I feel like I want to say there was a lead into your joy that you experienced this weekend. Okay. It's heavy energy around relationships. So it's like, did you get an unexpected call or unexpected invite? You know, did you had a warm fuzzy time with somebody that you've been wanting to spend some time with? There's some ushy gushy in there. It feels good. Ushy gushy. Okay. The card says soulmate. This relationship is a match made in heaven. So whether it's a romantic partnership or a business partnership, whew, it feels like something is a match. Okay. It's like you met a new friend and you connect on the same values and beliefs. Okay. It's like a new potential business partner or business lead. It's like, or community, it's given something like you met somebody significant this weekend that is going to be a lasting connection, or it's going to be a connection worth growing. Okay. So I like that. Okay, yeah.
That's different. That's funny.
That's funny. That's funny.
There you go. We're back.
No.
What?
Okay, I'm back. No.
Yeah.
My timer's not working. All right, I'm going because that's weird because it's recording me. All right, I love y'all. It wouldn't be YouTube if it didn't cut out and do something weird. I love y'all so much. I'll be back tomorrow, okay? 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern, live intuitive channel message with me, Allah-mi Basheer. I love you so much. All right, have a great day no matter. Peace.